and welcome to this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup. I am Megara Vijayamana.
And I am Tharani Omanasekara. This is the sound of profitability.
Sri Lanka's Purchasing Managers Index for construction increased further in August 2025. This was reflected by the Total Activity Index, which registered a value of 61.1, indicating a continuing expansion in the construction activities. A growth in road development and water supply work in the month contributed to the increase in the new orders sub-index. New orders rose from 58.6 in July to 59.7 in August. The employment sub-index rose from 50 in July to 52.8 in August. The quantity of purchases sub-index expanded at a higher rate, registering 52.9 in August from 58.3 in July. This indicated the optimism for continued growth in the construction work, according to the CBSL.
Fitch Ratings affirmed Sri Lanka's position at CCC+, citing continued economic recovery, fiscal adjustments, and improvements in external financial situations, mainly driven by the IMF program.
Fitch in its review stated that substantial progress has been made under the 48-month IMF program, and momentum includes passage of the 2025 budget in March in line with the program targets and restoration of cost recovery pricing for electricity. Additional measures include greater tax compliance and revenue administration and reforms to the Ceylon Electricity Board and state-owned enterprises. The investment climate, particularly FDIs, is likely to remain a priority to bolster medium-term growth, although with incremental progress.
Three key business chambers of Sri Lanka have challenged the decision of the Inland Revenue Department to remove the SVAT or Simplified Value Added Tax without having a proper refunding mechanism for exporters.
The petitioners representing exporters, deemed exporters, subcontractors to exporters, service providers in the export supply chain, small and medium enterprises, and the broader business community state that collecting VAT from export-related businesses without a proper functioning refund system and publishing the conditions of the proposed risk-based refund scheme in the Gazette is unlawful, unreasonable, and a violation of constitutional rights. The chambers also said that the IMF has not required the abolition of SVAT. The petitioners contend that the IRD's advice to abolish SVAT has effectively reinstated a cash refund regime that was historically vulnerable to delays and corruption.
Sri Lanka welcomed a total of 158,971 tourists in the month of September. The performance marks a significant 30.2% increase compared to the 122,140 arrivals recorded in September 2024, signaling a robust and sustained growth in the nation's key tourism markets. The year-to-date figures also paint a positive picture, with a cumulative 1,725,494 tourists visiting the island in the first 9 months of 2025. The growth in September was overwhelmingly driven by the Indian market, which accounted for nearly a third of all arrivals. A total of 49,697 Indian tourists visited Sri Lanka, making up 31.3% of the total arrivals for the month. And now it's time for the corporate highlight.
LOLC Insurance has announced multiple strategic leadership appointments, including having Chandana Aludgama being appointed as the Executive Director and Principal Officer of LOLC Life Assurance and a Director of LOLC General Insurance.
Kitsiri Gunawardana has been appointed Director of LOLC Life Assurance Limited, further to his role as Chairman of LOLC General Insurance PLC. With this experienced leadership, LOLC Insurance reinforces its strategic vision and readiness to drive continued success in the Sri Lankan insurance industry. With over 33 years of experience in life and general insurance, Chandan Aluggama brings extensive expertise in leadership, corporate governance, and talent development. He has held senior positions at prominent organizations including Eagle Insurance PLC, HNB Assurance PLC, and HNB General Insurance Limited. Prior to joining LOLC Insurance, he served as Group CEO of Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, Life Limited, and General Limited, where he successfully led major initiatives including the statutory segregation of life and general insurance operations in 2024, business restructuring, and the establishment of a performance-driven culture.
Here is the ESG update of the week.
DFCC Bank's green bond has been listed in the India International Exchange according to the sources from the bank. This also makes it the third overseas listing of DFCC Bank.
Previous listings were on the Luxembourg Stock Exchange and the International Exchange of the National Stock Exchange of India. DFCC Bank is the first foreign corporate entity to list a bond on the India International Exchange. The trading and settlement of the green bond will continue to be through the CSE and in LKR and will not be traded on the India International Exchange, the bank said.
Time for the international highlights. On the 1st of October, the US government went into a shutdown. This is due to an impasse between the Republicans and the Democrats over the spending bill. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees have been furloughed or having to work without pay, and multiple non-essential government services have come to a standstill because of this issue, with a massive impact on the overall US economy.
Government employees deemed non-essential will be temporarily put on unpaid leave. Contractors who work for federal agencies but are not directly employed by the government will miss out on work too. 40% of the federal workforce, about 750,000 people, are expected to be put on unpaid leave.
India's central bank has moved to expand the international role of the Indian rupee, allowing to lend and settle trade with neighboring countries such as Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan.
RBI plans to establish transparent reference rates for currencies of India's major trading partners. This step aims to make pricing more predictable and strengthen the use of rupee in invoicing and settlement of international trade. The RBI currently publishes reference rates for the US dollar, euro, Japanese yen, and sterling. RBI further seeks to widen the use of balances in special rupee Vostro accounts. These balances, which currently facilitate trade settlement in local currency, will now be made eligible for investment in corporate bonds and commercial papers. In August, RBI had allowed foreign investors to invest their surplus Vostro balances into central government securities.
And that's it for this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup. No matter what investment decision you make it with the right intent. We will see you in a brand new week.